Ahoy hoy everyone, welcome to another episode of the O Show. I'm O and I'm here for your amusement. Alright, so I decided to hop on the bandwagon and see the big blockbuster movie of the summer, which is Superman 2025, because there are a lot of other Superman movies. So just to be clear on what we're talking about. So we have Superman, directed by James Gunn. I'm not like a big, huge superhero fan. I will watch a movie. Okay, like I love the X-Men movies. I've seen the Batman movies. I have seen, I think, pretty much all the Superman movies. I know like the old school ones I've seen. I don't know Richard Pryor I've seen like a lot of times. That was just dumb. But Man of Steel, who's that? Jack Snyder. The Batman versus Superman movie. I don't remember if that even had a name. But yeah. I'm not the one to be like, well, that's wrong, and why did he do that, and whether the you know, like as far as what's true or what's not true to the comics. Just give me a good movie. Okay, if I can sit down and enjoy the movie and walk out and be like, you know what, I liked it, then like I'm satisfied. With this movie, I liked it. I sat down, I was invested from beginning to end. I chuckled here and there. You know, James Gunn has that humor that he puts in his movies. Yeah, I left the theater like, you know what? I have fun. Let's just say that. I had a good time watching it. Now, as far as for like the story, I assume he's going to have a sequel. But it's really funny how like these superhero movies, they pack so much into like one movie, right? I mean, you don't want it to be like, wow, you only had like the one enemy. Like, there are multiple enemies, but so much going on with this story. But it wasn't too bad. I know I shouldn't ask the questions I have because it's a superhero movie, so you just kind of, I guess you're supposed to just let it go. But damn it, I'm going to ask the questions. Okay, so what's the story about? So we start off with some reading. Okay, it's telling us what happened 3 centuries ago, 3 decades ago, 3 months ago, 3 years ago, 3 weeks ago, and 3 minutes ago, Superman just lost his first fight, right? So we see him crash in like Antarctica somewhere, and he calls his dog Krypto to help, right? Now y'all, Krypto is a badass asshole in this movie. This dog is so disobedient. He be nipping at Superman's feet. I don't wait for Superman to just slap this dog. But I guess Krypto was fun. He's like that puppy that you bring home. You're like, God damn it, stop it. Before you end up outside. So we see his, what is it, the Fortress of Solitude. And then he gets re-healed by his robot helpers. One who's voiced by Alan Tudyk, number 4. So they heal him by blasting him with sunlight. Is that a thing? I don't remember Superman being charged and rejuvenated by the sun. I mean, if it is, but that's kind of weird. Why did he just fly to the sun? Like, you flew home to get sunlight. You flew there. Why do you just fly up? I don't know. But anyway, is that why Superman never fights at night? Is that why they have Batman usually at night? It's all dark in all those damn movies. Is Superman only fights during the day? Is that what's happening? Oh. Okay, so then after he gets like charged up, I think he's like 80% or something, he goes back. So he's fighting this thing called the Hammer of Barovia, some place. And so it turns out this thing is also AKA Ultraman, right? But what's happening is Lex Luthor sent this thing. And I guess for like all these years he's been studying Superman to the point where he knows all his moves and what he's going to do. So now he's programmed these people where he's just saying like A5, C12, M13, and each one's like a move. And what the hell? What are you playing, like bingo? Alright, and by the way, the Superman in this movie is played by an actor named David Corenswet. I think I'm saying his name right. Okay, and then Lex Luthor in this is Nicholas Hoult. Well, who I thought... Okay, so I think everyone in this movie was cast, like, pretty good. I didn't have no issues with the casting, but I did like this Superman, and I really did like this Lex Luthor. So much better than... remember when Jesse Eisenberg was Lex Luthor? Again, I'm not a superhero person, but when I saw that trailer, I remember thinking like, Jesse Eisenberg? I'm not scared of him. So anyway, okay, Lex Luthor is working at Luthor Corp, this big building in Metropolis. And I really want to know, what the hell does he do? Like, he builds this stuff. He's like this big billionaire playboy guy. First of all, speaking of playboy, he has this like weirdo girlfriend named Eve, who is just crazy through this whole movie. She's taking selfies all over the place. Like, who are you? Why is he with her? So anyway, my thing is this: if you work for Luthor Corp, what do they do? I don't even see them doing work. All they do is he has this team that's trying to kill Superman. Is that the job description? What else do they do in this building? So in between all this, like after the fighting and stuff is done, Superman goes to work as Clark Kent at the Daily Planet, right? Daily Planet. And we meet Lois Lane, played by Rachel Brosnahan, who I love from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Oh my God, I love that show. This show is so funny. If you have not watched that show, watch it. Yeah, it's on Prime. You got Skylar Gisondo. Is that his name? He plays Jimmy. And it was fun to see Beck Bennett in something since he left SNL. I know he's been doing like some things here and there, but I like Beck Bennett. So he was somebody. I don't remember his name. And then you have Wendell Pierce playing like the head of the Daily Planet. And so we get to see how Clark puts on his glasses and, he blends in with everyone because he just wants to be normal. But then later on we learned it because, obviously you're looking at you see Superman, then you see this dude, and, how do people not, what the hell kind of disguise is this? He-Man. But apparently, and I don't know if this was a thing or was this just for this movie, but I guess when he puts his glasses on, they're magical. And so it makes people, when they look at him, not put two and two together that he looks like Superman. Who made those glasses? That's weird. So one day, Lex Luthor and his henchmen goes to Antarctica because when Superman went there at the beginning of the movie, he was tracked by this thing called the Engineer, which is this girl. I assume she's not human either, but she has like the power to like make her arms into like whips and chainsaws and saw blades and shit. So she followed him and tracked him to where the Fortress of Solace is, and Solitude, whatever his house is called. And so Lex goes there and somehow gets it to appear, opens the door, and just like walks on in, right? So you're like, well, how the hell did he do that? And then he just pretty much like destroys the place. But then he has the Engineer, I guess, tap into their mainframe. So I guess he's just looking for incriminating evidence. He just so happens to find what he finds, which is a video of Superman's parents talking to him. So they sent this video with him when they sent him to Earth. And it's like, defend the Earth and blah, blah, blah. But then it gets cut off, and the rest of it gets damaged, and Superman never saw the ending of it. But this thing fixed the footage, and it turns out they're like, humans aren't shit. Get like 20 wives, make more Kryptonians, and rule over everybody. So now with this knowledge, which is funny because like of all the stuff to find, they find out that was weird. But Lex Luthor's like, okay, well, we're going to take this news and let the world know what his real agenda really is, right? So while he does that, he sends a distraction to Superman, which I don't understand why. I guess it's just to have another scene. But he sends this thing that gets let out of a box. And at first I was like, is that Stitch? Is this like a crossover situation? There's this little monster that runs out going, yeah, 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 yeah. And runs away. And it starts off like this big, but then it eventually grows into this big, huge thing that breathes fire. And Superman has to fight it. So this is a lot that you see in the trailer. But here's what pisses me off about these Metropolis people. We're in that age now where, of course, everyone has their cell phone. So everyone's like, ooh, let me go ahead and get a video of what's happening. It's like I post it to my media. But you mean to tell me, like, this thing is in a square. Like a town square area, of course, convenient. And instead of running away, people are just there. Why are you in the way? Because Superman has to keep saving things, and there was a dog. He saves a squirrel at one point for some weird damn reason. Fuck that squirrel. But, like, what pisses me off is there was this scene where this little girl is just standing there. Little girl, first of all, what day is it? Why are you not in school? Because this is like, it's not early in the morning. Like, people are at work, they're out and about. Why are you just standing there in the middle of this thing? And so Superman had to save her. And like, the more I kept saying stuff like that, when he could have been doing something else, what? Move out the way. Those people were pissing me off. So they were introduced to this Justice Gang, is what they're being called. And so you have Green Lantern, you have Hawk Girl, and you have Mr. Terrific. Okay? And so they come and help Superman. So Superman has friends. I don't know why this movie wasn't called Superman and Friends. So they come to help him. And, yeah, they end up destroying this thing. Well, they killed it. And then Superman lays it down on the ground. And then that's the last we hear about this thing. Like, for once, I would love to see a superhero movie where after the enemy is defeated, like, what happens next? What do you do? Do you cut this thing up? Superman was talking about putting it in like a zoo somewhere. He's like, don't kill it. We can study it. What are you going to study it for? It's like Power Rangers. Lex Luthor is Rita Repulsa and sends a monster for them to fight in a city. And it's destroying buildings. Okay. So now, while this is all like happening, Lex Luthor is at the news building telling everyone about his shady parents and what his parents told him to do. And that goes viral like right away, right? Because of course, everyone got the damn phones in front of them. So this guy just saved y'all from this monster, and then right then and there, everyone turns their back on him. So now there's that one scene you see in the trailer where someone like throws a can in his head. Like, excuse me? I could go wake this thing up and let it destroy your city still. Like, damn, y'all. Did anyone ask? Well, I guess they kind of asked. But did anyone really be like, Superman, no. Superman, say it ain't so. But no, he sees the same thing as everyone else and realizes, like, damn, is that really what was on that tape? Is it fake? And everyone was like, no, it's not fake. So Superman is outed. So other than that, the rest of the movie is pretty much there's this war happening with this Barava someplace and the Jarpar someplace. There's two countries with these crazy names. And they are going to war. And one big thing about this movie is that Superman went and prevented the invasion at one time. And people are like, well, why are you getting into other people's business? Like, mind your business. Like, you flew from here to here, and no one asked you to come over here and help. You just inserted yourself. And he's like, people are going to die. Like, I stopped the war, right? And so we end up finding that it's actually all Lex Luthor's plan to have this one country defeat the other so that he could build this thing and take over this and make Lex Luthor land or something. And that's a whole big storyline. After Superman is outed, he surrenders and somehow ends up in the hands of Lex Luthor, who then puts him in this... Okay, so there's also this, like, portal thing that takes you to this pocket universe, which is really dangerous. But in the pocket universe, there's a whole bunch of monkeys, like, typing on computers. And they're doing all the social media bashing that, like, Shitman and superhero sucks and all this stuff. Like, all this social media stuff that Superman claims he doesn't read. I guess these monkeys are typing it out there and putting it on Twitter. I could have done without that. That was dumb. But Lex Luthor has this, like, prison thing, who I guess everyone who has wronged him is in a box. It looks like, you remember that movie, The Cabin in the Woods, where at the end all the monsters are in these boxes that keep getting moved around or whatever? Or that they're stacked on top of each other? That is literally what's happening here. So Lex Luthor puts Superman in this box with a man who they call Rex. But then as I was looking up, like, names of the actors for this review, I guess his real name was like Metamorpho. I think that's his name, right? So anyway, he has the ability to, like, change the things, but he can also produce elements. And one of the elements he can produce is kryptonite. So with Superman trapped in the box, this guy's just sitting there just holding the kryptonite next to him while Lex Luthor goes and does his thing. So there's an escape thing there. We get crypto again because Lex Luthor stole crypto when he destroyed the fortress, and he's there. He gets free, and Mr. Terrific and Lois come to, like, save the day and all that fun stuff. So, and by the way, Nathan Fillion, is that his name? He plays the Green Lantern. His hair in this movie, you guys, oh my god. And I know it's supposed to be like that way, I guess. It's addressed in the movie. But you know what it really kept reminding me of? I love the Addams Family values. I can't wait to talk about those movies. Do you remember when Uncle Fester had that blonde wig on after he married Debbie? I kept seeing Uncle Fester. It's so funny. Anyway, y'all, Superman saves the day, and there's a lot happening in this movie. Oh, by the way, the Ultraman, we find out, is a clone of Superman. I guess Lex Luthor got a piece of Superman's hair and made an entire clone, right? Which then answers the question of how did Lex get into the fortress at the beginning? Well, Ultraman was there, and so since he's Superman, he pretty much was the one who was able to open the door. Oh, okay. And then we get this weird ass, like, appearance, a special appearance by Supergirl at the end. Like, she's drunk as hell. Apparently she parties on planets that have red suns, because since our sun, which I guess they call the yellow sun, heals them, they can't get drunk. So she goes to, like, other universes that have red suns and parties there because she can get drunk. So then she comes and she's like, where's my dog? Oh, hey, Krypto. Okay, let's go. And then she leaves. Like, what the hell? So Krypto doesn't belong to Superman? Is that a thing? Someone tell me. I don't know. Okay. Is she gonna be in the next movie or something? Did we need her? Or was James Gunn just being cute and funny? I don't know, that was weird. And who rebuilt the fortress of whatever it's called? But it was destroyed before, and number 4 died. I mean, he's a robot, but you know, he clumped out. But then at the end of the movie, Superman's like, "Oh, you got this place looking good, and you know you look good, and you can see like there's scratches." Did Superman rebuild the robots? Is Superman a genius scientist? That's Batman, isn't it? Doesn't Batman build stuff? I think people build stuff for Superman, right? So who rebuilt the robots? Which I guess leads me to the question of where did they come from, like, in the first place. Okay, I shouldn't ask that. Okay, we got 2 post-credit scenes, which one just was no point. You just have Superman on the moon looking at the Earth, and Krypto is like hugging him. And it's cute, but apparently that's not your dog, so. And then later on, the last post-credit is Superman and Mr. Terrific talking about a building that got put back together, but it wasn't quite even. And so Terrific's like, well, what the hell you want me to do about it? Okay, so that's the other thing I didn't like about this. So like that whole portal thing and dimensions, and it starts to do this thing where it opens up. This is the pocket galaxy thing I'm talking about. Pocket universe, what do they call it? Pocket universe. And so I guess this thing collapsed on itself and started like melt down or something. So then it just started opening up the Earth and splitting it into 2, and it goes right into Metropolis. So now they're like, this is a mandatory evacuation. Evacuation is not a option. So of course they evacuate this city in like 3 minutes. Anyway, it cracks open, and then Mr. Terrific, who's in this movie a lot. Again, this movie should have been called like Superman, Mr. Terrific, and Friends. So, Terrific has to like close this thing, and Luthor could just do it, but this one guy's like, I can close it with the clickety click of the keyboard. So it just takes a code to just close this thing that's destroying the Earth, because it makes it sound like it's just something that's going to happen. But apparently it's just computer driven. What? Alright, other than that, other than all that mess, I still had fun. I mean, it wasn't too much to take me out of it. It was enjoyable. You know, you just have those things where you're just like, wait, what? Huh? What? Oh, and then, so speaking of these, like, prisons, right? So at the end, when Lex Luthor's defeated, because of the news, his secret is out, and the whole world knows, and now he's like, oh, curses, I'm ruined. And even sheds a tear, right? But then when we see him being apprehended and taken away, all the people who were in those boxes in the universe just start walking out of this building. Where did they come from? Who went into this universe and freed all these things? Because you have to be on like a platform, right? Anytime Lex is moving around or whatever, like they're on a platform being driven by this dude. And so they have to go like, you know, one by one. Go here, open it up, put someone in. Okay, maybe you can fit like 5 people on it. I don't know, you know. Then you have to fly back to the portal, unload, and then go back in. So all of a sudden at the end, all these people just come rushing out who were like trapped this whole time. Are there any like missing posters of people who just disappeared all of a sudden? Anyone know that people were missing? Who are all these people? So I call shenanigans on that. Like when that happened, because I literally was thinking like, because when he trapped Eve, the girlfriend, because she double crossed him because she was giving Jimmy information. The last person to get put in there was Eve. So I was like, oh God, like, if this thing collapses on itself or whatever it's doing, like, what's going to happen to these people, number one? Number two, are we going to get a conclusion on these people? So that crossed my mind. And so before the movie ended, people are running out of this building. That would have to take hours for... See, it's shit like that. I had questions. How the hell did they all get free? Oh my God. Alright, y'all. Anyway, that's Superman. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. We do get scenes with Superman's parents on Earth in Smallville, Kansas. I don't know who the lady is, but the dad is played by Pruitt Taylor Vince. Like right away, I recognized him. I was like, oh, I know. I had to think of his name, but duh, I know who that is. I think that's it. Is there anyone else? Those monsters and that thing and stuff. The war. Green Lantern's hair. Alright, I think that's it. Alright, so if I had to rate Superman, I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna give it 3 shots. Okay, so I had a good time. I'm not gonna say it's bad. It's fun. I guess if you're just looking, I'm gonna take all the stuff I said and then, I don't know. I guess people have problems with like his flying, I heard, which I didn't see anything wrong with it. Crypto is probably annoying. I had no problem with Lex Luthor. Rachel is Lois Lane. I thought she was fine. I didn't have any issues with her. I don't know why Superman's in love with her, though. I don't know. I think the chemistry between them just wasn't there for me. But other than that, she was fine. You got your Daily Planet people. You got your, the fight scenes. Yeah, there's just so much of that whole Luthor saying, like, B-24. L-19. Just calling numbers out through this whole movie. Like, obviously, at one point, it's not going to work. Just fight. Alright, you guys. Cheers. Okay. Take this over right here. Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, we're still here. We're still live. Alright, you guys, so let me know if you've seen Superman. What did you think of it? What were your thoughts about stuff? Alright, you guys, so in the meantime, please like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next episode. So, until then, TTFN. What am I doing? Am I flying? Y'all like my shirt? Bye!